Internet. I would file this under frequently asked questions. Where do you get your hardscape materials, especially when you're talking about going to a landscape place? Well, Vicky and I went to a landscape place, and here is a short video about that and the acquirement of the new rocks that are going to be going into the 60-gallon cube. As you could see, we had to drive hours and hours and hours, and realistically it was it's about a 25 minute commute for us, so it's really wasn't that big of a deal to head over to West Sound Landscape Supplies. This video is not sponsored by them, but I must say, great selection, very nice people, very helpful, and we're very accommodating considering it was ice cold blast outside, and they were more than happy to help us out with what's going on. We're asking questions about all these big bins of rocks and stuff that they got. As you can see, everything is more or less, sorted, rinsed, washed off, and kept in, nice kind of, separated areas for what kind of rock it is. There's generally not a whole ton of information on what rock is, so you are probably going to have to do a little bit of research before you go somewhere, or at the very least, maybe do a tiny bit of research and go with some ideas of stone that you know and ask them for what they have. Like maybe if you had a list of 3 or 4 different rocks that you know are safe for aquariums, you could go there and go, hey, I'm looking for X, Y, and Z, right? Now, me personally, I was actually looking for what's called columnar basalt, which is a dark-colored stone that actually comes from Washington, but typically it comes from eastern Washington. I live in western Washington, so oftentimes if I was going to go out and try and find it on my own, it could become terribly time-consuming if I was on the west side of the mountains. So one of the best ways to go about getting this kind of specific rock would be to head to a landscape yard like this. As we go through the video, you can look around and see just how many different types of rock that they have. One thing that I would point out is that if you are looking for Sierra stone or dragon stone or anything along those lines, I would go specifically order from an aquarium company like the Aquarium Co-op where I got my dragonstone from, and order that specific stone from an aquarium place. But this is a very economical way to put in a little bit of legwork and go find exactly what you're looking for. And this also has a lot more opportunity to find what you're looking for. There are giant piles of rock, and you can dig through them manually and find the pieces of rock that you like. More often than not, the people at a landscape yard, or what is commonly referred to as a rock yard like this, they could even break things into smaller rocks for you. Now, that's not a guarantee, but oftentimes it's not a big deal for these guys with the heavy equipment and all the stuff that they have on hand to be able to do something like that for you. So if you wanted something, maybe broken into smaller bits or something along those lines, they could probably pull that off for you. I've done that in the past, whereas I've even done it at home in broken things up with sledgehammers and chisels and stuff like that. But basically where I get the actual solid stone from is places like this. If I've often been told by people that they don't have one near them. A quick Google search, landscape stone or something along those lines in your area will probably pop up something like this. This is actually a very nice yard. This is not the typical place that you would see near a city or something like that. This is actually located kind of in the outskirts, out of town, so they actually do have enough space for you to actually go around, or they have enough space to have enough inventory around, so you can actually see a lot of options and things out there. You can also find some cool rockery and things for your yard and stuff along those lines. But it is pretty much endless. There just is some specific things that they don't carry because there just really isn't a demand for them in landscapes and stuff like that. But oftentimes I get questions about where can I get river rock, where can I get some of the crazy rocks that you get and put in your aquariums. Well, this is the spot. As you can see, these guys have pallets and pallets of all sorts of stuff. There is the stone that I got. These are actually, these are about 30-inch tall. Some of them are only about 20-inch tall, but they're about 30-inch tall columnar basalt. Kind of on the skinnier version. These are pretty expensive normally if they've been turned into something like a fountain or anything like that, which is commonly what you'd see them made out of. I'm pretty excited to put them in the cube. I hope you guys are too. This is a quick, short video, you guys, so if you want the longer stuff, tune in 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time for the live stream version, and I'll be talking to y'all later. Later?